What's up, everyone? It's Gavin or Tweek.
What's good? What's good? It's Marcus or Pink.
What up? What up? It's Charles or Chuck.
And what's going on, everyone? You got Matt or Haz. I know I missed the mute button on my mic. It's all good. What's up, everyone? How's it going? Big week, of course, for the Smash community at large, Melee and Ultimate, and everyone in between. There's actually 1,000 events at Genesis. Because when I went to look for my bracket, there was like Capcom vs SNK 2, Super Turbo, like Brawl, all these random old games that rule will be there. Speaking of being random and old, we got a Patreon. That has nothing to do with either of those things, but we got a Patreon.com/Tweek Talks, of course. Check that out. Ask us questions, get some additional content every week delivered right to you. If you want to check that out again, patreon.com/Tweek Talks. I think today, obviously, number one thing we all want to talk about is Genesis. We talked about it a pretty good amount last week. I don't think the brackets are 100% finalized yet, but they got to be getting close. The easiest way to open this and just discuss is, Gav, how you feeling when you get into Genesis? What are you thinking about for the tournament, and what's on your mind?
I think the brackets are finalized.
Are they?
If they're not and they're being changed, because we're recording this on Tuesday, February 13th, I would be surprised if they got changed. The only possible time to change it would maybe be today, but I'm pretty sure they're finalized.
Right.
Yeah, I'm feeling all right. Just practicing and studying and all that stuff. Trying to make sure my schedule kind of lines up with being 3 hours behind. And but yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. We can get into talking all the potential matches and stuff because I'm sure there's a lot of interesting stuff and not even just my matches. But yeah, I'm not sure how much y'all have looked at it in depth.
I haven't seen any of it, so I'm ready to get surprised.
Big surprises for Chuck here. Let's
Okay.
go.
Yeah, so the last big tournament I attended was Let's Make Big Moves. And this one's just very different in terms of attendance. A big one is Steve being legal versus Steve not being legal. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I believe I'm the 4th seed of the tournament. I've been looking at all my matches and trying my best to prepare, but how about y'all? Last time, all 4 of us were there, but this time Marcus won't make it, which sucks. But
Oh, damn, that's crazy. Wait, was the last Genesis? I was at the last Genesis?
oh,
Maybe 2
Just
Genesis
2 ago,
I
yeah.
think I was at 2 ago.
my
Well,
bad. Wait,
Fun fact: the first time we ever did a live activation
was it Genesis?
was Genesis 8. Yeah,
Okay.
and, we did it with Metafy. So
Dude,
yeah,
we were
that's a
we were
throwback.
so fucking nervous too. I remember all the thinking, like, dude, what if no one shows up? Like, what if this just sucks so bad? We were so scared. But then the cat pulled up and he asked the first question, got the ball rolling, and then we had a line. It was great. Actually, I love doing. It's been a while since we've done a live event. We should do that. Any events, hit us up. We're always looking. We like going to events, so it is fun.
Yeah. Damn.
Anyway,
Completely, I thought it was the last one. My bad. Sorry. When you do this for too long, time.
There's a lot of Genesises.
Yeah, the first Genesis I went to was Genesis 3. So
God.
yeah,
Same.
we got Jenny Tenny coming up here. I'm pretty excited.
yeah. That
Jenny
number
10's
sounds comical. Why have we been doing this so long? Give it a break.
We
it
There was a huge break between Genesis 2 and 3. Like Genesis 3 was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, the tournament series is back, and yada yada. It was wild.
It was very different.
And then they've been pretty. I think after Genesis 3, it was every year afterwards, right? I mean, excluding COVID, of course. I think they're pretty consistent.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess we can look at Gavin's bracket path. I assume that's what most of the viewers would be interested in, and we can also dive into some of the other top seeds and maybe kind of predict some top 8s because, as you guys know, seeding doesn't tell the whole story. There's different matchups and stuff like that. There's a lot of coin flip ones, and then there's just like, oh, this player seeded higher, but this matchup is like trash. So there's a lot of things we can dive into here. So I'm really excited to get into it. And I mean, is there any like secret bosses for Gavin coming into this Genesis
I got
like
one.
early pools?
Not secret bosses. Who'd you piss off at Genesis, bro?
Okay,
What the
I
hell?
was about to say,
Dude, his path, Charles?
I'm going to
Uh-oh.
say this. So I think it is extremely impressive that I got seeded 4th, virtually like winning the tournament, and somehow I don't have one favorable situation in the whole bracket. That is impressive. Whoever did that worked some magic. Like, I'm seeded to basically win the tournament, and I don't have one good situation. Not one.
Yeah, like
So let's go over every single bad situation then,
Top
because there's a lot of them.
64?
Oh,
Just
that's
look at
all
top
of them. Yeah,
64,
all
bro.
of them. Every situation's bad.
Yeah,
Top 64 winners.
Take your
Not
pick.
to mention, to get to top 64 winners, you have to play Goblin, right? Which is a
Yeah,
rough one for
it's
you,
all
too.
losing records and losing matchups. Some at the same time.
yeah.
There is not one favorable situation. I don't know how they pulled that off.
Bro, I looked
know.
at it because people were talking in your stream chat. They're like, "Oh yeah, Tweek's got to play Ona," and I was like, "Oh gosh!" Like,
So
and
is
then
that
they
like
were
the
like,
first one? Is that the
No.
first bad
Nope.
like? Oh,
No.
okay. Let's go over every single one for the audio listeners too, because we obviously have the bracket pulled up on the screen here for everyone to see. But for the audio listeners as well, we can go through the entire bracket run, and we'll see where the first this I guess speed bump or I don't know what we want to call them, but
this is round 1 pool should be.
I
fun.
am the underdog immediately as soon as I walk in.
all right. So Goblin's the first one, right? That's like the
Goblin,
first.
is,
Yeah.
that's where it starts for me, for my guy
Roy
Gob, for
Diddy
sure.
is low key pretty hard, and I also have just never defeated Roy from Fire Emblem in my life. Second off, Onan, Steve is pretty good, and I don't think I have to explain that situation. Diddy versus Steve is
Yep.
interesting, and then
Well,
I have
another thing,
I have Samus, which is somehow harder than Steve.
oh, and it's Yara. Holy
Yeah.
moly!
And then after that is Gluto, which is a slightly losing matchup for Diddy. I go back and forth. If anything, that's the best
That's
of
the
all.
best one.
Yeah, but I've wanted to watch you and Gluto play again since Terra. Like I want to see that.
Yeah,
I want to see y'all
want to
play.
play.
Again.
I want to play all 4 of these people. And as terrible as it sounds, well, it is terrible. But I am excited in the sense of my last big event was like a lot of good matchups and head-to-head type of things. So yeah, this is definitely gonna be like if I make it far, then I truly deserve it type of thing. We'll see. I'm studying as much as I can because I really can't get away with just walking in the venue and winging it, because one mistake and I'll be out of the tournament, and it's not even an exaggeration. The matchups are extremely out of my favor. I have to work so hard to maybe win, so I'm gonna try my best.
I have a question, because this is after Let's Make Moves, and like you said, that was a tournament that kind of was a good Diddy bracket, I guess is a good way to say it. Since you've like officially gone basically a solo main and like, you know, play banjo on your stream or whatever, how are you feeling about this lineup that you have to face now without, you know, a Sephiroth or without any of your other? Because I mean, always talking about you, everyone knows what's best. You're like Leo in a way, where everyone knows what characters you should play, and please bring back XYZ character. How are you feeling going into this big bracket? Basically solo Diddy. Like I guess there's not there's a non 0% chance you'll go banjo or some shit or whatever, I guess. But to me, I'm looking at this bracket, and
It's
all
a
Diddy.
0% chance.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
So it's funny you say that. I had a stream the other day where someone in the chat just kind of, like, the way they said something rubbed me the wrong way. They were talking about Leo and his ranking in the chat, and someone was like, yeah, sadly this is his rank, blah, blah, blah. He should be playing this character more, or he should be playing this character. And I was like, I just asked him in the chat, I was like, explain like the matchups and, like, you know, like, true, like, break it down for me, like, why you are so sure you know the best decision. And they literally said, like, gotta go, like
Yep.
I don't have time to explain, see you later. And
Of course.
it's just so, like, and when it comes down to my bracket, it's just, like I knew what I signed up for going into it. Like the reason I like playing solo Diddy though is because there's always something I could work on and do better, regardless of how hard a matchup is, to the point where it can even be a little overwhelming. So I try to put in as much time as possible. Like every time I finish a practice session, I'll like facepalm and be like, oh my gosh, like I didn't practice this or I could have done this thing. Like, so I mean, I do think he can do it even in a situation as bad as this. But if you consider like, oh, what if I was warming up Sephiroth? I feel like it's a similar thing in some of these situations where still all it means is if I make one mistake, I lose. Anyways, the character pick doesn't change anything. Like these characters are so strong that it's not even about like me playing the right or wrong lineup, to be honest, with like my best characters. So I don't mind going solo Diddy and just understanding what I'm going into, because a character like Samus or Steve, like they can just kill you in one hit. So you just gotta play it well, or Wario, or even Roy to an extent. So
And historically, I know even, pre-quarantine, Goblin was one of the players that wasn't necessarily a top 10 player, but just playstyle slash character would do pretty well versus you. I always like to call back the time you went K. Rool in bracket versus him, which was very funny, and you took a game with K. Rool. I mean, that's probably one of the K. Rool's highest highs in tournament, so shout out to you for doing that. Um, but yeah, it seems like a really tough bracket, and I think we'll know if you really meant if you're gonna go solo Diddy if you go solo Diddy in this tournament, right? Because
I
like
will.
you mentioned earlier, it's
Going
easy to
to.
go solo Diddy when all the matchups are in your favor, everything's looking good, right? But now you're gonna see the darker side of going solo Diddy and kind of the trials and tribulations
Darkest,
that come along with it.
darkest side.
Darkest
I
side.
don't know if it's the darkest, but it's close.
It's close. Yeah,
It's definitely
Yeah.
close.
yeah.
I mean, honestly, you might not even have to play some of these people. Like,
That's the thing.
I was thinking that
Kind of
too.
crazy. Some of the matchups that are happening, like it could be, it could be a
Deep
couple other
dive.
things. We'll
like,
see.
what if like Tarek just beats Onan? It's a
Yeah,
possibility. It's
Goblin
on
has
the
to play
table.
Nico and stuff.
Hmm.
Like it's a major tournament. It never goes as projected.
Yeah,
At least to a certain degree. But yeah. Um,
Does Yada have any bad matchups? I'm assuming
bad.
of all of so Gavin, I'm assuming of all of those bad matchups that you have that, or at least that are predicted, Yada's probably the one that's gonna be the roughest for you. I mean, I know that all of these are pretty bad for you, but which one would you say is the one you're, I guess, worried about the most, or I guess just character matchup wise?
I'm having a hard time deciding between Steve and Samus
Okay,
because
fair.
it might be like basically the same ratio of difficulty, to be honest. If anything, I actually might be more ready for Samus right now, which is surprising because based on the way, like the things I've been reviewing or and whatnot the last few weeks, I thought I would be really ready for Steve, but I'm not. And Samus, I actually think I found some things that could be nice. So I'd actually say Steve is the most dangerous, especially in a tournament setting.
Bro. Never mind. Let's not start the Steve train. Anyway, uh,
Too late.
Yeah, the Steve and Game and Watch podcast.
bro. Like, anyway,
Yeah,
like
I thought I was going to be more ready for Steve than Game & Watch based on the way I was studying. But I actually think I'm more ready for Game & Watch lately than Steve.
it's hard. I mean, he has a lot of options at all times. It's very hard.
Or his options beat all of yours
And
combined.
yeah, I mean, he's
His one
And then he
option,
gets more of them.
he has
Yeah.
one option that, can kind of just beat everything at the same
yeah, and
time.
you have to play around it, but then he has 50 options for the time you're playing around it.
I
So
don't know. I
it's
don't know what
it's
to do at this point.
it's
think
hard, dude. It's really
I
hard.
think I might just have to go in there and pray. I don't know. I
No
genuinely
idea what you were gonna say there.
I genuinely
Sometimes you
don't
got to
know.
turn to religion, man.
Like I don't know if Diddy Steve, like I'm running out. The bag of tricks is basically empty.
And his is only getting bigger every single week.
He
This
hasn't even
character
opened it
gets
yet.
stronger.
He
They
He
hasn't
find more
hasn't
tech.
opened it.
He hasn't opened. Oh, true. It's not even open, but it is very large.
He's using it more like a threat. Like
Yeah,
if
I
you
could
win
do
this,
this.
if you win this game, I'm opening this bag, bro.
I'll start doing tricks next. Yeah.
I'll
You
open
took game
Pandora's
one?
box.
Don't you dare win neutral, bro. I will open this bag. That's how
Dude,
it feels.
like, I'm looking at this bracket, and I was like, bro, we could just talk
Yeah.
about top 64. You really can't just
Nope.
talk about top 64. Like,
I was
I
thinking we
think-
could pick players that we're interested in and kind of follow their paths and see if there's, because even for branching off of Tweek's path, is there any like possible matchups that Yada could lose? I'm not too sure.
Shattuck.
Not right now. We're okay. Shattuck, maybe.
Shattuck for sure. Yeah. It
yeah.
could happen.
I don't even necessarily want them to lose. Like honestly, I kind of don't.
No.
Because you just
I kinda
played Shattuck.
I kind of want to play the people I'm projected to play because it would be satisfying to win situations. I probably shouldn't. But yeah, dude, it's so crazy how many crazy matchups there are before top 64. It's
Mhm.
kind of hard to keep up with them. I didn't even notice Yara might have to play Crepe Saleh.
Yep, or
Shattuck,
show. Or
uh,
show. Could be show.
Show.
didn't
I was
even
watching
see
Show
that.
play last night on Luis's stream.
Help!
That character's not fair.
Meta Knight Samus sounds something that I
He
would
could do.
assume Meta Knight does pretty well, but I'm not an expert. Obviously, those are two more obscure characters. But I mean, a floaty, right? Meta Knight loves comboing floaties. You're quick,
Yeah.
get in up close and personal. So I would assume on a surface level that
But
Meta
he's
Knight
so
would
grounded
have
and he has
advantage.
no air mobility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part
that's
sounds
rough.
So
not fun.
neutral is comically easy for Samus.
I see.
Like,
But if Meta Knight
like-
gets one hit, W.
Is Samus one? I don't know if Samus is one of those characters.
I don't know if she's one hit.
She's probably too heavy to be honest
Well,
with
you definitely get damage. I know Meta Knight likes to combo floaty characters. I know I'm talking in a very general aspect, but
Yeah.
Show will definitely get damage when he gets in.
I don't
yeah,
know.
Or
If
Meta
it
Knight
does.
will.
I don't know if it's more damage than Samus damage.
Yeah, and I also don't know I don't know if Meta Knight's going to be good at getting off ledge versus Samus. I mean, you have the multiple jumps, but I don't know if that
Probably.
really helps you in that
Yeah, he-
situation, right?
That's the best part for sure so far.
Bypass the ledge. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, but you
and-
can't edgeguard Samus either with Meta Knight. It's not going to happen.
she got no hurt box.
But also,
Zero
like,
box.
in order for that to, I don't know. It's tough. So a bracket I was super interested in actually.
Shattuck could definitely win the Samus matchup though. That one's
Yeah,
great.
Shattuck could do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Light's
if we're talking
bracket?
characters like Corrin versus Meta Knight,
You said light?
or Corrin versus Samus.
Good or bad?
Ooh, you thought Gavin's was rough.
Really?
Ooh, it's
Oh,
yeah,
no.
it's up there with Gavin's.
It's
He has to
impressive.
play. So I mean, like he has to play like he doesn't have a goblin in to get into top 64. But once he gets into top
That's
64,
Kazuya Game Watch.
he plays Gact into Riddles into Mia.
Well,
Goodness
hold on.
gracious.
If Riddles gets there, of course.
I think Riddles is getting there.
Because who's in Riddles'
Impressive.
bracket?
It's impressive.
Hmm.
How much, how much worse
That-
could it get?
Jeez.
It's bad. Like
How are you seated this high and nothing is good? What's
Well, I mean, Light doesn't have a
Jesus.
Steve. If you added a
Jesus.
Steve in there, that would suck.
he does. I
Anymore.
mean, if
Oh,
Mia
he does?
if Mia decides,
Oh,
like,
you're
hey,
right. Oh shit.
this ain't
Please.
working out.
just seed me last in the
Is
tournament?
that better or
Please.
worse than
It'll be better.
Game & Watch?
If I got last, it would be better.
I don't know.
I think
It's
worse.
weird. It's
Bro,
weird
that's
because
why look at
so
some of these other parts of the bracket. It's
Oh, he's
so
about to
good
say
for
Fred.
them.
Uh-oh.
Kurama, like his first two in top 64, are like, I don't think it gets better.
Honestly, I
Who
saw
is it?
that.
Who
I
is
was,
it?
I was
It's
like, you have to play
Shuton into
Shuton
Leo.
into Leo. Yeah.
That's like picture perfect
It's who into Leo?
for
Hmm.
like statistics, right?
Oh, Shuton into Leo.
Uh-huh.
That's like picture perfect.
Leo has a rough bracket. Yeah.
He does.
Not like
It's
me or
funny.
Light. Not like me or Light.
It's not
No.
it's not character wise statistically as bad, but historically player wise, he's never beaten Shuton, if I recall correctly. And then he has to
Yeah.
play Sonics like it's just not
Leo's
good.
gonna have to unleash this tournament.
Yeah, this is truly the Mr. Genesis run. It's funny because we were in Discord and Jackal joined last night. And
Oh
he was talking
yeah,
about
he
his
has to play
path, and
Jude.
he's in the same. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Jackal's path. I was like, "Oh, how's your path looking to like top 64, top 8?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah,
Pretty good.
it's Justice into Leo for top 64 winner side."
Goodness gracious.
And then potentially Neo, and then potentially Shuton Kurama, and then Sonics or Dabuz to top 8. That's just to get to top 8.
Bro, it's not.
That is
worth
winning
the
a
buzz.
tournament. That is winning a fucking tournament.
I
Like
would
that
take.
is it.
I would take every other path.
Every other path?
Yeah.
Let me look at every other path.
Yeah.
Lights is insane, by the way. I gotta say,
Honestly,
that is so
I'd
bad.
take
nope.
every-
I found your path. Here we go. Well, I guess you wouldn't.
Here, if you take
No, you would take every other path. Okay.
yeah,
Because I saw the path with T, and I was really trying to like cook up
Yeah.
something like, but
Mm,
nah,
It's close. Actually, it's not that close.
it's not that close. Because
It's-
otherwise, it's
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you've never lost to AK. Like if you swapped with Ken, you never lost to AK, and then it's just T
AK
into
to T.
Spargo, and you do well against Spargo. Yeah, that's I don't know, man. I don't
It's
know.
it's just it's one of those tournaments. It really is. I think we were talking about it a bit last night, but man, I'm kind of bummed that Akkola isn't going to be there, man. Marcus and I were talking about it a bit last
We
night,
were.
and again, obviously I don't know the whole situation, and obviously I'm not like throwing shade or anything. I'm just like, damn, that's number one. Not beat a Genesis, bro. Like I don't know. I gotta see
Like,
it.
I wasn't gonna bring it up,
I'll do
like it, but like Loki. It's only slightly. It bothers me that he's going to a tournament in Japan that weekend. I thought that he wasn't going to anything at all that weekend. He's just like, I'm chilling, but he's just like, hey, numbers 2 through 100 at Genesis, all good. I'll be in Japan, just winning. Woo! Like, and there's no opportunities for numbers 2 through 100 to get a win or number 1, but there's opportunities on 2 through 100 to lose to everybody else. But he can't lose to everybody else. Nobody's there. He's just gonna win an event and then be like, oh, well, I won again. Like not getting opportunities
Good
to play
weekend.
against number 1 is kind of tough. But
He doesn't have to.
But he
could-
doesn't
Nope,
have to.
he doesn't.
Exactly.
He's earned it. Is what
And
I would say.
that's
Yep.
why I
Yep.
was like, dang it! Like it's really like that. Like he doesn't have to go. It
With
just
the
sucks
state
that
of
he doesn't
Smash
have to go.
Ultimate, Genesis
Yeah.
isn't like. It's pretty much a must go, but you could realistically be the best player in the world without going to Genesis.
Yep.
Well, I think the big part is that he's from Japan, right? So if you're a Japanese player, then you have so much options, and it's like before it used to be NA, right? All the NA players, pretty much. I mean, there's been times where it's like more East Coast centric, more West Coast centric, but at the end of the day, it's very accessible to you, no matter what, right? But yeah, I mean, now Japan is a place that has a P tier every month at least, maybe even multiple P tiers in a month. So
Crazy.
you don't really have to prioritize some of these other events outside of your region, whether it's in NA or not, even if it is a P tier. And it's just
Yep.
it's the way it is.
Time for y'all to pull up to Japan because that's all y'all can do at this point.
Kagaribi, you already know.
Something
I mean, you have-
shifted, bro.
You have
Yeah.
to.
Shifted.
You
Yeah.
literally have to at this point.
And I'm not complaining. Japan's lit.
I'll go, man.
Yeah,
We go.
I'm hoping to make it to
I
Calgary
just-
for sure.
Yeah. I just think Has asked the question, or maybe this was on the last episode. I remember if he asked this yesterday or somebody asked the last episode, but this is the first time that like rank 1 hasn't attended Genesis.
Ever, I think.
Like
I think
ever,
across
right?
any Smash game,
Like any
probably,
Smash game.
right?
I think so.
Probably.
I mean,
Which
the
is
only
like-
other exceptions I could think of is Genesis 1 and 2, and I don't even know if ranking
Well,
like
like,
global
I don't think
rankings were
rankings-
really a thing.
Yeah.
But Genesis 3 and onward, yeah, this is the first time.
Which is like, I don't know. It just feels strange. But I don't
I
know.
didn't
Change
realize-
isn't bad. It's just different.
It's different.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize Paris's bracket was like that. I was
It's
so
brutal.
I was so focused on mine
Insane,
that I like
yeah.
my condolences, bro.
But your struggle starts earlier though, which is the craziest thing. Like to get into top 64, you're already struggling. So I think you have a tougher bracket, but his
Yeah,
bracket is
low-key.
also very tough.
I'm gonna have to have a talk with him, bro, because I'm gonna look at him like, bro, you see this? You're the one who told me to do this solo stuff, bro.
This is your
Why'd you listen
Look
to
what
him?
they did to our brackets.
He told Cosmos to go Inkling again, bro. Why are you listening to him?
I low-key told Cosmos to do that too.
yeah, good job.
Yeah, I don't know about that,
Yo, this
bro.
is
Why
crazy.
y'all hate
I
Cosmos?
wonder if the
I
Buzz
don't.
is playing Steve at all. Y'all think the Buzz is pulling out Steve? Yay or nay? I'm saying nay.
I haven't seen him practice it in a while. I'm trying to think of the last couple tournaments I
He
watched
might
him
play
go
more.
to.
He might play more Min than people are going to expect.
Yeah, I don't think the Steve is
When he
ready
goes
for
when he
Genesis.
goes to local tournaments, he's been playing Min.
What?
Finally hitting the upgrade button, man.
Like-
He's had enough.
His sets versus Zamba were all Min.
He used to tell. It's fine.
I'm serious.
Please.
I don't know
You
what.
don't have Marcus?
No, because he
I'm
just
not
used to
gonna say I
tell.
know what he's thinking or anything, but maybe he'll play a lot of Min.
He just used to tell me, Man Rob's impossible. Man.
Oh,
And
he
I said, bro,
lost.
it's not that bad. And then Dormigi wins, and suddenly, you know what? Maybe I'll try Man Rob, which is weird because he usually just plays Rosalina and does really well into Rob. So it's strange that he's playing Min. I don't know.
Maybe
Who knows
just
what's
playing
going
to
on in
learn,
his
though.
head. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Trying some stuff out.
He-
I
he
want to
did-
take a peek at Zachary's bracket.
I was just going to say, I
That's-
got a
well-
honey riding on that, bro.
That's why I brought up the Buzz, because Zachary has to play
Ooh.
MVD into possibly the Buzz, because the Buzz has to play Cosmos to make it in the top 64. And I think Cosmos won the last time they played when he did that, like, when the Buzz basically SD'd or something like that on Min. Was that the last time they played? I'm not sure if it was, but that was
Yeah,
a long
but-
time
Oh,
ago.
that was, I think
Domino-
I vaguely remember.
Domino effect. Cosmos has to play Wilds, too, who has been known to make some pretty big upsets with a really, really good Kazuya. So
That's true. Cosmos is pretty good against Kazuya, honestly, though.
Wilds is,
Yeah,
I
like
think
fighting game
Wilds is like,
characters, yeah.
yeah. Well, didn't he lose to Vendetta, Cosmos?
Wait, what's wrong with losing to Vendetta?
Huh? I'm not saying anything. I'm saying fighting against fighting game characters.
Oh, no.
There's
I
nothing
just
wrong
know
with
he's good
it.
against
Let's go.
Kazuya.
Okay.
I just know
That'll
he's
be an
good against
interesting
Kazuya.
one. It's on my list, bro.
Yeah.
I'm hyped. Look at this, man.
But if Zachary does end up playing the Buzz, he plays Sonics.
Does anyone know when Best of 5 starts? I think it
That
starts
was what I wanted to know.
I think it starts in a weird spot.
I hope it's not top 64. I hope you play Goblin in a best of 5.
I don't think that's Best of 5.
Damn.
Oh. Oh.
I would assume
Well-
top 128, but
I don't think so.
There's a lot. Because the thing about Genesis is it's a top 8 Sunday event. So there are a lot of games to be played on Saturday. Like a lot. Of
Saturday
games
is
to be played.
the roughest day of the
It
tournament.
is a gauntlet. That joint is brutal. If anybody like has gone to like one of the events that runs like all best of 5 or whatever, you know, it's nice. You show up, you play like 2 sets on Friday, you play like 3 sets, 4 sets on Saturday. You show up on Sunday, and like if you make it far into the bracket, you'll play like 5 more sets on Sunday. Bro, Genesis, you play like 3 sets on Friday. And if you make it far into the bracket, you play like 10 on Saturday. That joint is brutal. You just sitting there all day, just, all right, one more set, man. I got one more. And if you lose, 15 set minimum to make top 8. Goodness gracious. Like it's
I can't find
That's
the
easy.
rules or anything.
Just don't lose, dude. It's easy.
Oh, right.
True. I mean,
Think of it that way.
Why it's good is even go. Did you know, like this tournament is so hard that Meister is seeded to go into losers at like 33rd. Like,
Wow.
Huh?
Hey.
Bro, where's the rules?
Where's
How do I
the
play?
rule?
How do I play this game?
I can't find anything.
What's the stock count? What's the timer?
I just want to know when's Best of 5.
Just win, Gavin.
The funniest thing I think about when I look at Genesis is honestly, I don't think there's a single person, maybe there is, but a single person that thinks that Sonics will not make top 8. Like I just looked at his bracket and I'm just like,
Top
all
8
right,
winners, easy
that's
peasy.
top 8 winners free. Like it's not a question.
When's the
chill.
last time he didn't make top 8? It was at SmashCon?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That was the last time.
I'm pretty sure that was the last time he didn't get top 8.
I feel pretty confident in that. I can't remember because it was pretty
Could be wrong,
fucking
but-
significant. Like he didn't make top 8.
Golly. That
mean,
dude is good.
DD
at
with the
game.
pack, man.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I remember. Is DD going to Genesis? I hope so.
I don't see DD seated, so I'm going to assume no,
Hell.
because he's not in the top 64, and it'd be very strange for him not to be seated top
Yeah.
64.
It's possible though. It's like it's possible. I'm not saying it'd be right. I'm saying it's possible.
Well, it is possible. Yeah, sure. What's really interesting is this like Gluto Cola Zamba Kaninabe quarter. I mean, some
could
of those
go-
matches can go
yeah.
either way, like all over the place.
Coin
Oh yeah.
I was thinking that when I was looking too.
Because like,
Kaninabe, that's gonna be a tough one for him. Zamba versus Kaninabe is gonna be very tough for him if he makes
For
it
who?
there. That's gonna be fucking tough.
wait for who?
Kaninabe.
True, and you know what's crazy? Kaninabe has to play Ven. Who knows how much experience Kaninabe has versus Zelda,
Yeah.
and then has to play Tilde to make it to Zamba. Oh.
This is gonna be fun,
Oh.
bro. This is gonna be fun.
And Zamba has to play Void. And
Oh.
Void is actually notoriously good in Rob Sheik. He's like really good at Rob Sheik.
Of
That was the
course.
first time he beat Zach.
Charles is just cheesing over there, bro. he
He's got a good bracket.
Void
He does
have
he
a good
really?
bracket. Yeah, he has to play
Buck,
Beastly.
Void lucking out again. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, he has to
Mr.
play
Lucky.
Beastly, who like he practiced with for a very long time and like basically taught Smash, and then Zamba, and then he's in that like Zamba, Kaninabe, Tilde area. And if Void got to play Tilde, I'm sweating because Bro versus Falco, that just don't seem fun. I don't think Void's gonna pull out the needles enough. I think he's gonna fight.
Void's a fighter.
He's gonna fight.
Saves
they're
needles for confirms. He doesn't.
both-
Oh,
They're both gonna fight.
Yeah, and that's
Yes,
the problem because that's
true.
Falco. Lombardi. Goodness.
I'm glad Tilde's getting more chances to travel. Seeing Tilde come out to Genesis
Yeah.
is super
His
sick.
too.
play style is dope as fuck.
Agreed.
He be
It's weird.
moving in weird ways, bro.
This
It doesn't
Mute
work? Oh,
Ace
well.
bracket. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
That's play
Mute
He
He
Ace-
got second last year.
I have to play Maze Beans, which is I'm pretty sure it's Steve. I like
Yeah.
Steve from Europe. And then I can't remember, which is sad because I just looked at it and then I clicked off because I was like, oh, no way I'm gonna forget this, and then I forgot. Oh, Mr. E or Peanut, which I think he's fine versus either. And then the Game of Watches start. Bro
Yeah.
plays Meister into Mia.
Into Mia.
Like how? Like what? It's like
You
you see
know-
these Tweek and Light and Mute, like they're like trying their hearts out on this. There's like solo main characters, and somehow they're just running into their like worst possible matchups, like all at the same time. Like I don't get it. I like
Bro. On that side of the bracket, you know who I'm excited to watch too is Ruffalo. Really good
Oh, yeah.
performances recently. Really, really
Yeah.
good player. So I'm excited to see.
True.
And I think Ruffalo is one of those players that really prepares. I'd love to see Ruffalo against Mia. I feel like that's going to be a good set. Mark it on your calendars, chat. That's,
Yeah.
I'm
I
calling.
think
That's one of my
Paulo does
calls for
pretty well
tonight.
versus Game Watch as well, right? Historically. I mean, I don't know about like
I don't
current
know
meta
about
stuff,
now,
but
yeah.
Definitely,
yeah.
definitely better than most.
Right.
yeah, it's crazy too because Mute is so good against Steve, but they're like Mute has an early Steve matchup, but then later on in bracket not challenging any of the highly seeded Steves, just the Game Watches.
Just the Game Watches.
Just the Game Watches.
It's a good
Yeah.
point because like
Fucked up.
sometimes bracket luck it's not just about like getting a losing matchup or like an even matchup. It's like the matchups you know really well, right? Like that.
That's true.
Like we were just saying for Kaninabe as well. Like, yeah, maybe Fox beats the shit out of Rob, or maybe it's a volatile matchup. But that's Zombo who has played Light so many times. But Kaninabe, I feel like he's one of those players that like he'll take that challenge on. You know, it's like yeah, you might beat Light or you might do well against Light, but I'm not Light or some shit like that.
Rob's
I
a
don't know.
really popular
Cool.
character in Japan as well, so it could
Yeah.
be both ways.
Are y'all feeling good about my Zachary bet, by the way? I'm feeling pretty good about
Okay,
it.
so what was it? He's gonna make top 8. I mean,
Top
So
eight.
let's say
Either
Zachary
side.
beats the Buzz, right? So what's the rest of the bracket looking like?
Hold
for Zach?
on.
he
Let's
loses to
stop right
Sonics.
there.
He loses to Sonics.
Loses to
Guar-
Sonic.
Guaranteed.
He does well against Ken, but
Loses
there's
to
quite a
Sonic,
difference. There's quite a
guaranteed.
difference. Yeah, I would say so too.
And then plays. Well,
Yeah.
okay. If he loses to the Buzz, his bracket for making top 8 is actually really good. If all is
Really?
projected, yeah, because they'll play Beast Mode Paul into Mutace, which is like depends on who's playing, but it sounds winnable. Into Riddle's projected, into Gluto, and all of those sound winnable.
Does that sound good? I don't think that sounds good.
That
Well, I
like
don't think any
well,
bracket
it's not
path is
fair.
gonna
no,
sound
yeah, I was like,
good.
It's
That's
definitely
fair.
not bad. It's definitely not
Relatively,
yeah, it's not bad.
That's
It's
fair.
like Pink said, it just has to be winnable.
Yeah, I mean, he could get put into the Japanese area, and that would be very good for him. Like, there's an area that just has Ashimo, T, and Shuton and losers, and Kandinabe. Like, hey, throw him in there. I mean, he
Yo,
could
it's another
be
day in Japan.
another day in Japan. We make top 8
50%
free.
chance. Yep.
But then there's an area that has like Zombo or like Light, and then like Leo, and like like you don't want to get put in that area because if Leo, I guarantee you, if Leo goes into losers, like the man is locked in. The man is giga locked. He's trying to
Yeah.
Mr. Genesis, and a lot of his well, not a lot, but his last Genesis run, even though he made top 8 winners, I think, he won through losers. So
Yeah.
Dang, this path I'm looking at here for Umeki looks pretty decent. I mean, defeating Leo would be pretty hard, but if Umeki could defeat Leo, he beat Ken at the last port, and I could also see Umeki doing well against the Buzz. But it seems like possible winnable matchups. I mean, when you get to Leo and the Buzz, I don't think it's in his favor, but winnable.
yeah, winnable. That's all
You
you
might
need.
get to see Bloom versus Spargo, which I think a lot of people would be excited to see
Yeah, that'd
Yes,
be really
yes.
interesting
In winners.
in winners.
for the winners.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at Spargo's bracket. Let's look at some of the other top seed bracket path. So, because Spargo, I mean, really the only individuals I can see him really struggling against is like Sonics off the top of my head, Mia.
His path to top 8, if he gets their winner side, is Bloom, Ashimo, and then Ken, which is real.
might
That's
fight
a good bracket.
He might fight Aiken and Ashimo in the same bracket.
So I was
That's good for
going.
Cloud.
I was going to say he might fight Aiken, but how good is Ryu into Game & Watch? Because Aiken has to play Monty,
Definitely
and
really bad.
and that
That's
sounds
a huge L,
unwinnable.
dude. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe
Well,
Spargo's
dude,
playing,
you watched
Monty.
Ashimo against like Mia. It's painful, bro. He's come close though. He has
Yeah.
come close, and Aiken's a very cerebral player. It's possible, but unlikely is what I'd say, because that matchup is eternal pain. Once you get disadvantage, forget about it.
Spargo definitely has a very, very good bracket for him. I mean, I can't really see
Yeah, it's
outside
definitely
of Bloom. I
No
can't.
Corins, no
see.
Samuses.
Mm-mm.
Good to go.
No
I mean,
Wolf.
A Sonic
and
and a
then
Ryu is very nice for
Ken
him.
could, I mean, maybe Ken levels up in terms of just edge guarding. I mean, I just know Sonic the character can be
Ken has
very
beaten
effective
Spargo
at edge
relatively
guarding.
recently.
What's up?
What's up?
Ken has beaten Spargo relatively recently.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, you're right.
Was it at Watch the Throne? Because I
That's
can't
at Port.
imagine.
Is that Port?
Port? Beat him at Port?
Something
Yes,
like
he beat him at Port in losers bracket, and that was the
Quad
first time Ken
trade.
has ever beat Spargo, and
Quad
they've had like a bunch of game 5 sets prior or something. I forget what the exact numbers, but
Oh,
it was a big upset. Yeah, and I mean Sonic the character just edge guards. I mean, one of the best edge guarders in the game, and is one of the few characters. I mean, I guess not few, but like one of the characters that can really go out there and threaten Cloud right off the rip, and get
And
like
ages too.
sub 50% edge guards. Like that's what you want versus Cloud. If you can get sub 50% edge guards, that's where the money's at.
Ken in general has just been on a tear since him and EE squashed the beef. So like a weight had been lifted. Now he's good to go. It's true though. Like it really was around that time, to be honest with you. But he has been on a tear, man. Definitely. See what Ken can do, dude. I don't know.
Because Ken had a really good run at Port, had a really good run at Watch the Throne. I haven't been following too many of the results for Japan as of recently, but at least the last couple of NA performances, Ken has been doing very well.
Oh, Beast Mode Paul has a good tournament. Been hyping this dude up for a couple months here, and he's been doing really well. But there's doing well, and then there's doing well at a Genesis type tournament, and I really want to see him kind of take it to the next level. I know he's capable, but it's gonna be a little tricky because this bracket there are just landmines everywhere.
I'm
We'll
like,
see.
that dude gotta play Sonics. That's not good.
It's always a loser's run, man. That's okay. It's okay. You get
I mean,
2
even
lives
the top
for a reason.
32 is very prestigious in my opinion for Genesis. I
Agreed.
mean, I know all these players competing in here want more, and of course that's going to be very natural for competitors. But getting in the top 32 of Genesis is one of the most competitive tournaments of the year. So
Top
Yeah.
3. I'm happy getting in the top 64, man. This joint hard.
Crazy.
yeah, and that's the one thing that I think Genesis will always have. It is a legacy event. It's been around since forever, and even though the ranked number 1 player isn't coming to this tournament, Genesis, in my opinion, will still be one of the most stacked tournaments of the year, just because it's not just a top heavy tournament. It's not just like, oh yeah, the top 5 players are here. Like, PR ranked players from all over the world come here, globally ranked players from all over the world come here, so just the floor is really high. Just like Pink said, just getting in a top 64 here is incredibly difficult for any
I
player.
just want to know when best of 5 starts.
You've been looking this whole time.
Bro,
Dude,
I
I was
was know
looking
if he's
too.
playing Goblin in best of 3 or best of 5.
Just anyone to be like, when?
Is it? You're not wrong, dude. I can't find it anywhere either.
This is like knowing when this starts will change everything for speculation for a lot of stuff too.
So I'm assuming
true.
you prefer to have best of 5 as early as possible, right?
It's not even about that. I just want to know. Like,
Oh, okay. You just yeah, that's fair.
But is it top 64 or is it like a little bit before that? I don't think it's 128 though. Maybe it's one round after 128 or something.
Maybe. Like top
that's
96.
I think I found it. Hold on.
Oh.
Haz is on the case.
I got it. Yeah, I
Detective
found it.
has.
All tournament
Sherlock
sets will be
has.
best of 3 until top 384. That's round 2. Then it becomes
Oh.
best of 5.
Oh.
Interesting.
Okay, that's
Classic top 384. We all talk about it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Classic.
That's my goal is top 384, by the way, at this tournament. So
Oh, nice.
I think that's a good
that's everyone's goal.
benchmark as well. Getting into best of 5 at a major, I mean, depending on when the cutoff is, obviously.
pretty
but,
fire,
like,
yeah.
I made it to
Yeah.
best of 5 at Let's Make Moves.
Actually, the GOAT.
Did you?
Yeah, I heard you made it round 1 or round 2 because you had a bye, right?
Cool.
Dude,
Well, there you go.
I'm looking at some, like, I'm just wondering about some of these players that could just make a run that you're not really thinking about, you know? Like,
Yeah, that would be a good
Hazmatt.
to like. Other than that, yeah.
well, yeah.
Other than the obvious X
I
factor,
can't.
Like,
there's a
Exactly.
certain level of danger to Hazmat's gameplay.
Oh, we got the global presence on the screen here. A lot of U.S. players.
Oh, nice. Nice
Not
job, Chris.
Not too much players from Mexico.
Bro, Hero's going? The
Yeah.
Japanese Bowser? God damn.
I should not
dude.
even see it that well, honestly.
Yeah,
Which
Hero is
That's
insane.
scary.
Taikei. Man, Niatono's going too. This is a
Shuyuki's
good
here.
ass tournament.
Japanese Inkling.
I wish the Japanese Falcon was going. Captain Falcon was going. I've been watching
one?
more recently.
There's two of them.
The first one.
Jokabu.
There you go, Chocobo.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but yeah, that person.
That's I knew what it was in my
okay,
head,
true.
but I refuse to say it first.
All good.
'Cause you
I'll
know
take
how
it.
it is, yep.
Hey, I'll take the fall, bro.
It's
all
your
good.
turn.
Eh.
Crepe Saleh could have a tournament. Is what I
Could?
gotta say about it.
Very well
Definitely could.
Dang, the
Oh,
French
Larry
Dimension's
Lur's up with
back.
us. Dang.
Like, oh no, is the bro?
Of course.
Are y'all ready for the French dimension? Like, what happens if you get dragged in?
The French Dimension, man. You never know.
Gavin, would you play on that stream?
There's nothing worse than what I'm already playing up against.
What?
Gavin is
Okay.
like in like full doomer mode. He'll just be like, "Yeah, sure, put me in the French Dimension."
Well,
They
if
love
you
you.
go
They love you in
through-
France, bro.
That's true. If you
We
go
can- we
through
can
all of
play-
that,
We can play upside down outside, bro. I don't care.
It's already a losing matchup. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, you versus Goblin in the French dimension, and Goblin is
Goodness.
for some reason French, and go. And then all the French players are just like they're cheering for it.
He lands down tilt, and you buffer a roll in, and he just force smashes you, and you die 60, and they just go ballistic.
And it's the first stock of the entire set.
You know what I say to him after I lose? Good luck versus Steve, bro.
Oh, true.
Good
Your
work.
reward. You get to
There's
face
your reward. I'll see you in losers with me, bud.
See you 2 rounds.
Just sitting there, losers waiting. I hope Goblin makes it back to me. Like, I hope we're in the same.
I used to say stuff like that in tournament where it's like someone would beat me, I'll be like, I know you're gonna lose your next round, and then I'll watch them lose their next round. I'll stand right behind them and I'll watch their tournament match. And I will say I've never been wrong when I said that, so I'm pretty spot on when it comes to that.
Raw.
Actually,
raw.
very toxic, and I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, it's a little toxic. And
Definitely toxic.
Extremely.
But I'm old, so it's okay to be toxic, right? I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. Don't be toxic.
That's a brawl player in you, bro.
That is some brawl shit right there.
I can say the same thing if I lose to Steve. Oh, good luck versus Samus.
True.
Like,
Telling a Steve player good luck with Samus.
no one's winning is basically what I'm getting at. This is some tough shit, bro.
Crazy bracket, man. Oh man, there's so many other players. I mean, I'm assuming Mia's bracket looks pretty
very
clean.
good.
Oh,
Bro,
Niatono's going.
he plays Game & Watch and
Bro,
Steve.
his
I don't think
bracket-
that is a bad
No,
bad
but this is
bracket.
better than usual.
Oh yeah, because he has Light.
He has Peach and Fox.
Holy
Yep.
crap, that is insane. Yeah, it's better than usual.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I just want to talk about. I mean, I know we always talk about Game Watch and Steve, but what would be the worst bracket for Mia in terms of character match? That's how you know this character's broken, because it's like, well, think of the worst one. I mean, I guess Spargo.
Sonics.
Sonics will be
Spargo.
bad.
But he can't fight them until top 8 anyway, so literally
Spargo's
immune.
playable.
Immune. Oof.
If there were like a really good Yoshi going, I know he usually switches in between Steve and Game Watch with Yoshi. He had a rough time versus Pharaoh as well.
Oh,
Yeah, I forgot about that. Pharaoh is going too.
I think Yoshi does pretty well against Game Watch. The Buzz, if he had to play the Buzz, though he plays Steve for that.
The Steve
now,
though, yeah.
But since the Buzz has been practicing,
Leo would
Steve,
be tough for him.
Leo would probably be tough. Yeah, very.
Oh, okay. Bring out the old school sword characters, beat Game & Watch.
Maybe Shattuck.
Ooh, Shattuck would be a pretty good, like a rougher matchup. But his like Gavin said, his bracket path is looking extra delicious, like very good with the cherry on top. You know.
I mean, dude, even if he was just solo Game & Watch, this is a godlike bracket. But he also has a Steve. Like just because we're talking about solo mains that. Still play vanilla characters, and he's got one of the best vanilla characters, period, and also the best character in the game. Like, bro is thinking he's a winner, dude. I'm a fan.
Let's take a look at Gluto's bracket. Gavin's favorite player. What kind of bracket does the Wario have here?
This bracket's rough.
For matchups, it seems favorable.
He's been playing well recently,
I think Wario beats Roy and Rob.
Okay.
Looks like he might play Send or
Vendetta.
Vendetta.
SDI.
Go.
Fighting game characters are pretty hard for Wario. I'm sure he would disagree.
No. Pluto? He hates them.
He thinks everything is winnable and blah, blah, blah.
He's comparing all the matchups to like Sonic and Steve. So, of course, he's just like, well, fighting game characters like very winnable.
But that could give him a hard time. And technically, Ness itself is not easy for Wario either. I actually think it's pretty bad.
Is it just the air-to-air is in favor of Ness? Like, why is that?
Yeah, you don't have enough range to comfortably deal with Ness. Everyone always wants to outrange Ness, and Wario, not only does he not outrange Ness, Ness has more range than him. So yeah, I think Wario, Mario, Ness, Luigi, like is kind of tough for Wario. But his like top 64 type of thing is good. Roy is favorable. Rob is favorable. Diddy Kong is favorable. So it's pretty fucking good.
He's just got to make it to top 64, and then it's kind of like a
Even
little bit
then,
more downhill.
even then, in my opinion, from a Wario matchup perspective, even things like Ken Ryu Ness is much better than and like some other possible situations.
Yeah.
Right.
Overall, he has a
Koopa
much
Beach
better
Nest.
bracket than
Could-
most of these
yeah.
top players.
I know he
Um,
had a rough record with Cola for a while.
Yeah.
But that was years
That's
ago. So
the crazy thing about Roy for me. I always go into a Roy set like, yeah, this is favorable, blah 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 blah, and then you like blink and you lose or something. Like it's like, oh snap. So Roy's a weird one, and I feel like for Glutilla that's happened before too, where it could go either way in terms of head to head, but in terms of matchups, he should be confident, I think. And Zamba has beaten Gluto before as well.
I have a new wish list item, and it's you said it earlier, but Leo versus Mia has never happened so far in Ultimate.
Yeah, we
Isn't that
talked
crazy?
about that a little bit. Where
That
It's almost
is
happened.
crazy.
That's so weird, dude.
But-
Like, what are the odds?
it'd be nice to see.
Is it possible for it to happen in winners? Is that even possible or no?
No.
It's not gonna happen.
So it would have to be a losers bracket
It
thing.
would have to be winners finals.
Well, I mean,
Well,
yeah, because Mia's not going to get upset. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Well, if they don't
Well-
lose, yeah. If they lose, I have no idea if they could meet up.
In order for Mia, like let's say everything goes projected, in order for Mia and Leo makes the upsets, in order for Mia to make winners finals, he would have to beat Spargo. So
And I think we already went over Spargo and Sonic's bracket in a sense of like they're pretty fine, like nothing,
Yeah.
no crazy curveballs. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wild. I think the only curveball there is the Ken versus Spargo. So we'll see how Spargo's adapts to Ken, because Ken, even if I'm pretty sure that was the last time they played was at Port. I don't know if they played at Watch the Throne. I'm not 100% sure, but Ken has taken a set over Spargo in like tail end of 2023 at the very least. So that is a possibility. I mean, let's take a look at Ken's bracket.
He's
'cause,
seated
Sonic
very
is
high. He's seated very high. I didn't realize.
yeah, and I mean Sonic usually
Deserved.
doesn't have any too much road bump or like speed bumps they have to deal with, but
I think AK could beat Ken for sure.
AK, okay.
Uh,
I gotta see the good AK show up to this
I
tournament,
think
though.
it'll be like I think
Too
it'll
streaky
be
recently.
is what I'm getting at. I don't know who AK has to play before that, but I think AK versus Ken could be interesting because I think it could go either way. Oh, Apollo Kage has to play Web JP potentially. He might have to
Speaking
play
of
multiple Sonics.
Snakes, is Hurt going to this tournament?
I don't think so.
I don't think
Damn,
so.
I did
It's
not
another player I
see-
really want to see more of.
I haven't seen Ken versus T in a while or ever. I don't.
They have had to have played.
I know they've probably played, but I don't know if I've seen it or know.
Like recently, no, I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah.
At least not at an NA tournament. I hope T does well this tournament. I know T hasn't been having the results he got like pre-quarantine or like right after quarantine at these NA events. So would love to see the Pac-Man start popping off again.
I'm looking at last time Spargo and Ashimo played. It was a solid 3-1 for Spargo. I know that was a possible matchup, but what was interesting
Did
is
they play Kagruby 10?
They did, yeah, and he
Yeah,
lost
yeah.
game 1 as Aegis, and then just 3-0'd him as Cloud. So
Sounds about right.
yeah,
Really good matchup for Cloud, man.
yeah. I mean, the games were close. Well, one of the
Mhm.
games weren't, but most of the games were pretty close.
There's some interesting ones that could go really far that we haven't seen go super far in a while. I think of like Riddles and Cola.
Yeah,
Zachary obviously is like a huge, like potentially interesting bracket run. Shattuck is like creeping up and improving like tournament to tournament.
yep.
Zamba and Cosmos were in Japan and stuff like that. We'll see how they do now that they're back in the U.S. and playing in a big tournament. Haz was mentioning Ruffalo, which I think was a great point. I think Ruffalo plays really precise and really fast. Um, it's interesting that Meister and Mia are so close to each other in the bracket. That could potentially happen. The game, I'm sure everyone's going to be doing backflips for that one.
Yep.
Let's see. Charles mentioned Umeki, which is good. Bloom is a really interesting one. I'm sure Bloom would really like to play against players like Spargo or Mia, stuff like that. I'm sure Bloom would really like to have a chance at playing those players. Wait, I
Like,
think Bloom played Mia at Watch the Throne, but still, like regardless, like would like to play those types of people.
how do you guys feel about Game & Watch, or not Game & Watch, Cloud versus Bayo? Because I feel like ABK kind of operates outside of the bear range, and then you can kind of punish Cloud setting up some of these jumps with ABK, and then obviously Bayo has very good offstage, especially low percent offstage. So, I mean, I think Spargo still has the advantage because of the experience and just like how highly ranked he is, but I think that has a very big potential for an upset.
Yeah.
I think.
Go ahead, Gav.
Sorry. I think it's Cloud favored.
You think it's Cloud favor? Okay.
Yeah, I think Cross Slash beats Bayo pretty handedly, and
I see.
I also think there will be some windows where surprisingly Bayo won't be able to deal with the jumps because Spargo's so fast and he fast falls so quickly and he mixes up when the back airs are rising or falling and stuff. But yeah, he's still like on paper he's still gonna have to deal with the ABK approaches and things like that. But Bayo's not. Bloom will have to play pretty tricky on shield and will have to play a really weird and precise ground game to be able to keep up because I feel like Cloud can beat Bayo without leaving the ground in neutral sometimes. Especially
Honestly,
if Cloud plays on the back foot, I think he still wins too because of his out of shield.
Yeah, like if you're dashing back and throwing out cross slashes to
Yeah,
catch an ABK,
yeah,
I didn't even really think about just that area it covers is perfect to cover ABK. And then if you whiff the cross slash and they're like in ABK range, it's not like you're gonna get whiff punished,
yeah,
right? So you're kind of like fading back and throwing out this low risk. But if you ABK, I'm doing 24 or
yeah. Like
whatever, right?
if you think of something like up tilt and down tilt versus Cloud as Bayo, how do you land those reliably?
Up tilt sounds really
The
hard to
ground
land.
movement, the ground movement's a little too clunky, and like she's she's so big, and her run speed isn't as good as Cloud's, and Cloud's
Yeah,
gonna have hitboxes when you try to get a ground game going. Like when are you gonna jab kill Cloud?
frame 9, like
Like all obviously all of these things are possible, but like the ground game is gonna be tough.
Yeah, man, we'll have to see. Regardless, pretty simple to say. I think we're all super stoked to see to be at Genesis. I'm happy to see Charles and Gavin. Charles and I are rooming together. I'm super pumped. We're gonna hit the gym every
yes.
day. Great
Oh,
roommates, which means Phil got his own suite. Good for Phil, because I get to room with Charles. That's great. And Gav, I'm excited. So I'm getting in early. Phil either gets his own single suite or he's rooming with Charles. There's no in between.
dang, you're telling all the secrets, man, right on the podcast. It's crazy.
It's all good.
he'll say it on his.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
true.
say, is this a secret anymore? Anyway, yeah, I'll get in early Thursday. I'm looking to get a lot of games in. I'm looking to work has been really, really busy. So I've been like grinding really hard to get my work done so I can go to Genesis and focus on the event between casting and playing, which is a lot. And it's something I haven't done in a long time. So I'm low key nervous for the first time. And I don't even know how long to go to a tournament. Which is exciting in a very different way. I've been playing a ton. I've been playing. Shout out to Gavin. We've been playing. Shout out to Jude. Jackal's been playing with me. I've been on Elite Smash, like just grinding, watching VODs. Like I don't know. It's fun to. It's a perspective I missed very much. And I think I still brought to the mic when I casted, but I missed very much doing this. I'm sure I'll regret it at some point and just be too tired just doing too much. But it feels good to hustle, and I'm really excited to get in early, play a bunch of Smash, forget about the real world for a couple days, and then go back to reality. So that's my hopes for this weekend. So bars pretty low, which I'm happy for because I'm going to have a good time.
Big same, yeah. I mean, just coming back to Hawaii has been a lot of work in general, so I think it's going to be really nice to just hang out with all my friends, play a bunch of Smash. I mean, the last time we all got to hang out and have fun was Watch the Throne, which was dope. But that event, especially me and Haz were more like doing staff work and stuff like that, so yeah, I mean, I think for this event we'll have a little bit more time to hang out and have fun. So I'm looking forward to that.
Can't wait. And then Phil can buy me dinner when Zach Ray doesn't make top 8. True.
Easy, nice steak dinner.
Yeah, dude. I can't wait. But that sucks because I want Zach Ray to do well. So I kind of like the way Marcus told me. He's like, dude, you played it right because if you win, you
win-win for
paid
you.
$100 and you get to see Zach Ray get top 8. And if he doesn't make it, everyone loses, but at least you get $100. It's like, wow, that's some good perspective right there. True.
Bada bang, easy
Yep.
peasy.
I guess that about wraps it up. Thank you so much for watching the show and listening, supporting as always. We're excited for Genesis. We're going to get into some Patreon questions. And yeah, thank you so much. See y'all after Genesis.